It's been made clear today that there's not just one way to fight anti-Semitism, but rather there are a multitude of innovative paths for people to get involved. Since its founding, CAM has promoted the activities of an inspiring community of young grassroots activists from around the world who have used their creative skills to take on discrimination and celebrate those who have stood up for the Jewish people. Now, these next incredible individuals who you're about to hear from were winners of CAM contests and have used their ingenuity and CAM's platform to take a stand and make sure that their messages are heard. But first, let's watch a video from CAM's Venture Creative Contest. Take a look.
It's been called the world's oldest hatred. It's driven people to torment, torture, terrorize, and even commit murder at an unprecedented scale. And today, it's on the rise again. It's anti-Semitism. To combat this ancient hatred, new solutions are required. So the Combat Anti-Semitism movement and some extraordinary partners asked people for their ideas through art, poetry, video, or social action. Why did people participate? Many reasons.
I don't want my family's past to become anyone else's future.
The current epidemic of anti-Semitism has affected me very deeply.
I feel obligated to never stay silent.
As a religious Christian, I see my Jewish brothers and sisters as my deeply loved neighbors.
We need to fight back against all forms of bigotry and hate.
What are these contest winners doing? For example, Zachary Singerman is now organizing a teen summit on anti-Semitism. Jonathan Weitzman and a team of Jewish tutors is offering free tutoring to largely non-Jewish kids in his German community. Perry Chenson is enlisting artists to paint a powerful mural in a European city. Yifa Segal and a global team of attorneys is fighting anti-Semitism from a legal perspective all around the world. And many others are also combating anti-Semitism as winners in our contests. The good news is,
action can be taken today, especially by young people like me.
In the end, goodness and truth will prevail.
Please help fight the oldest form of hate right now. It can't wait. Join the movement.
Just amazing. All right. Zachary Singerman is the founder of Gen Z Jews, an organization that's on a mission to rally his generation against anti-Semitism. So Zach, tell us a little bit about your partnership with CAM. What led you to start Gen Z Jews and how you're addressing anti-Semitism within your generation?
So my partnership with CAM has been really just an incredible experience. They have helped me on so many levels with, first off, giving me grant money to start up my organization and get some incredible speakers at my summits. And they've really just been helping me on every stage through creating the webinars that I'm using, through helping me with the flyers, and really just things like that, and everyone who has helped me in the process. And so I started Gen Z Jews because of the Tree of Life shooting. And that was very personal to me because that was my grandma's synagogue. And luckily she wasn't there that day, but it really made me realize that I had to do something because I don't want to live in a world where anti-Semitism keeps growing and growing and it becomes out of hand more than already is right now. And I really try to combat this through my organization where we're trying to educate Gen Z and we're trying to get them really to fight against anti-Semitism at our young age so that we don't end up living in that world where there is extreme, like even more extreme forms of anti-Semitism than there are now. And so like, that's really what we're trying to do. We're just trying to educate and make people really join and want to join the fight against anti-Semitism.
Well done, Zach. You give us a lot of hope for the future. And I'm going to turn to our next guest now. That's Juri, a CAM contest winner and Japanese-American muralist who recently completed a painting in tribute to Chiune Sugihara, a Japanese diplomat who saved thousands of Eastern European Jews during the Holocaust. So Juri, what inspires your work? How has winning CAM's contest furthered your art? And what is the importance of addressing anti-Semitism through creative outlets like painting?
Hi, everyone. Well, my work is inspired by poignant stories, actually, that I hear. Sometimes the stories are from Japanese history or my culture. And sometimes they're inspired by my travels. I travel a lot. I've been able to travel and paint in Israel also with another organization called Artists for Israel. And I've met so many brave people there, and it has inspired some paintings with Jewish themes of bravery. I did a mural of Hannah Senish, and I've done a piece of an Ethiopian Jew, an IDF soldier, and now the piece that I've done most recently of Sugi Harachune. So winning the Emma Lazarus Award, at first we were going to do it as a mural, but because of COVID, we had to adapt. And instead, I made a giant painting in my dining room that was as big as a mural. And thanks to Cam's webinars, I've been able to share it with so many people, hundreds of people who have been watching, and it's been shared on social media networks so many times. And I've gotten so many good responses, including lots of Japanese people that said they've never heard this story before. And once they read it, they were just so overwhelmed with hope. And they said, this is the pride of Japan to have a story like this. So I think as for the importance of fighting anti-Semitism in art, unfortunately, with street art and popular culture, anti-Semitism and anti-Israel sentiment has become very trendy these days. And unfortunately, I think this trend is largely based on misinformation and lies. So with my art, I hope that people can see the truth that I'm trying to tell from having been to Israel and traveled all around and listened to people. So I hope they'll be drawn to the beauty in my art and be drawn to ask about the story instead of just believing a popular narrative that they've heard somewhere. My name in Japanese actually means submit to the truth. So I'd love to keep painting themes of beauty and truth for people to enjoy and learn from.
Well, Judy, thank you so much. I've seen your artwork. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And your piece on Sugihara was so inspirational. It really, ensured that this important piece of history is not forgotten. Now, finally, our last contest winner is Madeline Stern. Madeline Stern is a junior at Broadneck High School in Arnold, Maryland. She was the winner of the Students Speak Out video contest organized by CAM and B'nai B'rith International. So, Madeline, tell us what made you submit a video to the contest and what you learned about yourself and anti-Semitism along the way.
Certainly. Thank you for your question. So I'm a Jewish teenager living in the United States, and I have experienced anti-Semitism. In middle school, I was constantly picked on, cursed at, and told insulting jokes about the Holocaust by two boys. I ignored them for a period of time, but I finally had enough. I could not keep sitting by silently and decided to report them to my school's administrators. Then the bullying stopped. This experience stuck with me. When I heard about the Students Speak Out Against Anti-Semitism creative video contest sponsored by B'nai B'rith International and the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, I immediately knew it was something in which I wanted to take part. I have been personally affected by anti-Semitism and wanted to let people know that they are not alone, while hopefully giving them the strength to stand up to the hate. Throughout the video production process, I learned that we truly have the power to make change, and my worldview expanded as I came into contact with people from all corners of the globe. Burke from Turkey, Esther from Estonia, Liza from Ukraine, and many others shared their devastating stories in my video, Anti-Semitism is Everywhere, Stop the Hate. The video features 30 teens from 14 different countries, not to mention the dozens of other teens that I spoke with along the way. Each one of these young people had a story about being attacked, belittled, or discriminated against. Their stories are bone-chilling. They give you a personal, intimate example of the hate that is directed at Jews. Hearing about their experiences made me feel sad and angry. As I see story after story in the news about vandalized synagogues, stabbings on the streets, the double standard applied to Israel, anti-Semitism, I feel sad and angry. How can our world be full of such hate? How could other human beings treat other human beings in such a deplorable manner? But there is hope. In my video, for example, people literally from everywhere came together to spread the powerful message of speaking out against anti-Semitism. On a broader scale, an example includes how Arab countries are now making peace deals with Israel, a feat that was once considered unattainable. To make even greater strides in stopping the hate, we must do three primary things. We must educate others, we must stand up, and we must speak out. Many people have thanked me for making my video. They were shocked to learn about the hate Jewish people experience. If we can teach the youth of today about anti-Semitism and other forms of hate, we can work toward a more peaceful world for the leaders of tomorrow. Additionally, we must stand up. I learned this firsthand. The second I stood up to the ignorant boys at my middle school and got administration involved, the bullying stopped. While it can be scary standing up to a person who wants to see you suffer, we must. And when you stand up against the hate, speak out. If people understand that their actions are hateful and ignorant, they can be more informed and view people in a more accepting way. If we remain silent, the hate will become normalized and spread. All of us would love to see the day where anti-Semitism no longer plagues society. It is a goal we are working towards. By educating others, standing up, and speaking out, we can stop anti-Semitism and all other forms of bigotry. By performing these actions, we can practice the Jewish principle of tikkun olam and do our part to repair the world.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much for that powerful statement. And to hear what goes on behind the scenes of a production like this is very, very interesting, particularly getting so many young people to participate. That certainly probably wasn't easy. Now, for all of our viewers out there, here is Madeline Stern's award-winning video, Anti-Semitism is Everywhere, Stop Hate.
Anti-Semitism.
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 Is.
Everywhere.
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 One anti-Semitic incident that I lived through is my classmates, like a bunch of classmates, were saying, oh, you should go back to the concentration camps and stuff.
My German classmate said to me that I should have been born 75 years ago because then the Germans would have burned me.
People drew swastika in the snow on the field and told me and other Jews that we should have died in the Holocaust.
I was in a soccer game and a man told me that I can't be in his court because I am Jew.
I just started at a new school and it came up in conversation that I was Jewish. I was immediately called by all my so-called friends that I was a Jesus killer, a God killer, and that I was stingy.
During my matches, players from other teams would sometimes yell, "You're a rat, you're a dirty Jew," or "You can't win because you're a Jew and Jew never wins."
One of my classmates was drawing swastikas in his notebook, and when the teacher saw it, he told him that this is not the correct way and draw one on the whiteboard.
I was in a classroom and a boy said, if a country is going to bomb the United States, they should bomb the state with the most Jews in it. When someone told him I'm Jewish, he asked if I wanted to go to heaven. On the school bus, a different boy asked, what's the difference between Santa Claus and Jews? He then said, Santa Claus goes down the chimney and Jews go up.
This year I'm going to the university and we have created a group chat with other students to get to know each other. We were discussing summer camps and I've told that I've been to Jewish summer camps like Savage, and the boy from my group said that Jews are only allowed to go to Auschwitz.
Anti-Zionism is a prejudice against the right of the Jewish people to a homeland in Israel. By being anti-Zionist and trying to deny Jews their own country in which they can practice their beliefs freely, a person is clearly being anti-Semitic. The existence of a Jewish country is crucial to the existence of the Jewish people as a whole.
We do as a country sometimes experience anti-Zionism by boycotting and social media.
When people say that Israel should not exist as a country, it's anti-Semitism, because you essentially say you are not supporting the safety of the Jewish people and the existence of the only place in the world that Jews can feel safe.
Anti-Semitism of any form is deplorable and shameful.
But together we can make the entire world a more accepting place.
Educate yourself and others so you can tell fact from fiction.
Each person who denounces anti-Semitism makes a difference. Stand up.
Speak out.
Stop
the
hate.
So powerful. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today and congratulations on your important work.